Hello everyone and welcome to the House of European Football here in Nyon for the 2024-25 UEFA Youth League playoff draws. Okay, it is the 11th edition. This competition has proved to be a springboard for many players as they start their careers. Over 1,000 having graduated from the UEFA Youth League to playing their part in UEFA's senior men's club competitions. And for those taking part in this season's competition, well, they'll be no doubt looking to join that list. This season, of course, saw the dawn of a new era for the UEFA Youth League. The competition was reformatted to give more young players more exposure to competitive matches, with excitement all the way through phase one, encompassing both the new look league phase in addition to the newly expanded domestic champions path, which meant that teams battled it out for a place in today's draw right up until the very end. Let's take a closer look at some of the action in the competition so far this season. Now, today's draw comprises of 22 clubs that have qualified from the league phase of the UEFA Champions League path and 10 clubs from the domestic champions path. So, without further ado, I'm going to hand over to the men in charge of the draw proceedings, UEFA's head of club competitions and calendar, Tobias Hedstuck, together with Tom Barlow, the senior competition manager. Hello, gentlemen.
Thanks, Reshmin. And of course, good afternoon, everyone, as well from our side. And indeed, this season is an important milestone for the UEFA Youth League, with the competition system of all UEFA club competitions evolved into a new era to make as well the UEFA Youth League more exciting and dynamic, and more importantly, more inclusive. The UEFA Champions League pass has been modified to mirror the league phase in the men's senior competition, but with 6 match days instead of 8. Whereas the domestic champions pass is now open to all UEFA national associations, of which 52 entered, compared with 32 in previous years. This allows more clubs to benefit from this development platform and gives players exposure on the international level at such an important stage in their careers. In fact, 15 different national associations are represented in today's draw. A special congratulations to FC Internazionale Milano, who became just the 4th team in competition history to have got through either the league phase or all group stage with 6 wins from 6 matches. We also have 6 previous winners of the competition among the many newcomers who aim for a spot in the next round and be one step closer to playing in the final week in Nyon and potentially winning this trophy. In fact, 3 of the winners of this competition have come through the domestic champions path, emphasizing as well the strength and depth across the continent in youth football. And now we are nearly ready to start, but before we do so, please allow me to hand over to Tom for the technical procedure.
Yes, thank you, Toby. But just before we do jump into that technical procedure, just a short reminder that the matches of the round of 32 will in principle be played across the 11th and 12th of February next year. However, those dates are flexible if both clubs in UEFA are in agreement on an alternative. Now, for the draw, as introduced a little bit earlier, today's draw sees the merge of the Champions League path and the domestic champions path. And to see how we will draw those teams into the pairings of this round, we can start with a short video that will explain the principles of the technical procedure.
For the UEFA Youth League round of 32 draw, the 22 teams that qualified at the end of the UEFA Champions League path league phase are joined by the 10 winners of the 3rd round of the domestic champions path. The draw will be conducted in accordance with the following conditions. The clubs finishing the league phase of the UEFA Champions League path in positions 1 to 6 are seeded and will be drawn against the clubs finishing in positions 17 to 22. The winners of the 3rd round of the domestic champions path are also seeded and will be drawn against the clubs in positions 7 to 16 from the league phase Champions League path. The UEFA Executive Committee has decided that clubs from the same national association cannot be drawn against each other. In the round of 32, all ties are single-legged. For the purpose of facilitating the draw, the teams ranked 1 to 6 from the league phase path have been positioned in accordance with their league phase ranking as the home team in the first 6 pairings of the round of 32. In a similar way, the teams ranked 7 to 16 from the league phase path have been positioned in accordance with their league phase ranking as the away team in pairings 7 to 16. To conduct the draw, 2 bowls are prepared. The first, containing the teams from positions 17 to 22 of the league phase path, and the second, the 10 teams who qualified from the domestic champions path. The draw starts with the teams in the first bowl. The 6 balls are shuffled and 1 ball is drawn and opened to reveal the team. This team will be positioned as the away team for pairing 1. The process is then repeated with the remaining balls in the bowl to draw the away teams of pairings 2 to 6 in order, completing these ties. The draw then continues with the second bowl, where the 10 balls containing the domestic path winners are shuffled and 1 ball is drawn and opened to reveal the team. This team will be positioned as the home team for pairing 7, completing this tie. The process is repeated with the remaining balls in the bowl to draw the home teams of pairings 8 to 16, completing these ties and concluding the round of 32 draw.
So I think this video nicely sets out the details, the principles of the draw of this round, and I just have a few additions related to the specificities of today's procedure to outline. As indicated in the video, teams from the same national association cannot be drawn against each other. Therefore, in the event that such clubs are drawn against each other, the team drawn will be immediately moved to the next pairing. In its place, another ball will be drawn from the relevant ball to complete that initial pairing. If, on the other hand, there's a clash that would involve the last 2 teams remaining in one of the blocks, the team drawn into the second to last pairing will instead be moved to the last pairing, and the last team remaining in the ball to be drawn will be drawn into that second to last pairing. Now, I know it sounds maybe a little bit complicated in theory, but of course, if it does happen during the draw, we will explain the practical solution as we go. With that, I think everything's explained. We've talked enough. And now we're ready to start the draw by drawing the pairings of the teams ranked 1 to 6 from the Champions League path against the teams in positions 17 to 22. So just before we dive right in, let's take a quick look at those top 6 teams and their positions, as well as their potential opponents.
Indeed. Thank you, Tom. So let's have a look at the seeded teams. And here we have with the position 1, FC Internazionale Milano from Italy. Position 2, Sporting Club de Portugal from Portugal. Position 3, FC Salzburg, Austria. Position 4, FC Barcelona, Spain. Position 5, VfB Stuttgart, Germany. And position 6, Real Madrid from Spain.
And the unseeded teams coming from those positions 17 to 22 are Celtic FC from Scotland, Borussia Dortmund from Germany, Liverpool FC of England, LOSC Lille from France, GNK Dinamo of Croatia, and AS Monaco from France. And with that, we're ready. I think we can finally start. I'll give it a good, shuffle to warm it up, get everything ready.
And then we start the first knockout stage.
Go for you, yes.
Of the Youth League 24-25. Let's see which team is drawn first, and therefore will travel to Milano and face FC Internazionale Milano. So, and this team will be LOSC Lille from France. So FC Internazionale Milano playing against LOSC Lille from France. We keep on.
First pairing done, yes. Now we look at the second pairing, and we're going to find the opponent of Sporting Club de Portugal. And they will play against AS Monaco. So the second pairing, Sporting Club de Portugal against AS Monaco.
Okay, 4 more. We're looking for the opponent of FC Salzburg. Let's find out. Who will be next? And FC Salzburg will face Celtic FC from Scotland. So FC Salzburg playing against Celtic FC from Scotland. Pairing number 3. We keep on.
Yes, halfway through this set of ties. And now we find an opponent for FC Barcelona. And Barcelona will face GNK Dinamo from Croatia. So that pairing, Barcelona against GNK Dinamo.
And so 2 more remaining, Stuttgart and Real Madrid. Now we're looking for the opponent of VfB Stuttgart. 2 more. Dortmund and Liverpool waiting. And let's find out, who will it be? It will be Liverpool FC. So we have VfB Stuttgart playing against Liverpool FC from England.
So just one ball left. One pairing left to make. We're looking for the opponent of Real Madrid. I think we all know what's coming, but just to confirm that the last pairing will, of course, be Real Madrid against Borussia Dortmund.
That's a good start here with the first 6 pairing, ending with, on the men's side, the Champions League final of last year. So we keep on.
Yes, now we continue the draw with the domestic champions path winners, who will be drawn against the teams from position 7 to 16 from the Champions League path. So let's just remind ourselves once again about the teams involved in this part of the draw before we continue.
Yes, and on the seeded side, we have FC Dynamo Kiev, AZ Alkmaar, TSG 1899 Hoffenheim, FC Midtjylland, Real Betis Ballonpied, NK Lokomotiva Zagreb, Olympiakos FC, SK Rapid, Trabzonspor AS, Puskás Akademia FC.
And the unseeded teams who have already been pre-allocated into their matches based on their position, starting from position 7, Atalanta BC, and continuing Atletico de Madrid, SL Benfica, Juventus, Manchester City, Girona, FC Bayern München, FC Shakhtar Donetsk, Aston Villa FC, and finally in position 16, SK Sturm Graz.
Good.
So now we're ready.
Let's start.
I give another good shuffle.
Yes, another one. 8 more balls to be drawn. 8 more pairings to be found out. Let's see.
10.
Ooh, 10, yes, indeed. 10. So let's
We'll
find out the
finish the
first
draw.
one.
We'll go all the way through.
Let's find out for the first, for Atalanta BC, where they're going to travel. It will be FC Dynamo Kiev from Ukraine. So Kiev will host Atalanta in the first pairing of this part of the draw. We keep on.
And we go to the second pairing and the team that will host Atleti. That will be SK Rapid. So SK Rapid will host Atletico de Madrid.
Good. Now we're looking for the host of Benfica. Let's see who will be hosting Benfica in the knockout round playoff in the round of 32. It will be AZ Alkmaar from Netherlands. So the former title holder as well. They're going to welcome another title holder, former title holder, SL Benfica.
Now we keep going. Next pairing will be the team hosting Juventus. And Juventus will find themselves traveling to Turkey to play Trabzonspor AS.
And now we're looking for the host of Manchester City.
Indeed.
Let's see, who will it be? In position 11, who will be the host for Manchester City? It will be FC Midtjylland from Denmark. So Midtjylland playing against Manchester City in the round of 32. And we have 5 more to go.
Yes, halfway through this block. Now we're looking for a host for Girona. Where will Girona be heading to? Well, Girona will not be heading to Real Betis because they cannot play against each other. As we said from the beginning, teams from the same association cannot play against each other. So Betis will actually be hosting FC Bayern München. So Betis against Bayern München. And now, Toby, if you can draw a new host for Girona.
Let's see who will be at the end the host for Girona. It will be the current title holder, Olympiakos FC from Greece. So Olympiakos will host Girona FC from Spain.
Now 3 ties left. Next up, we're looking for a host for Shakhtar. Shakhtar will face up against TSG 1899 Hoffenheim. So Hoffenheim hosting Shakhtar Donetsk.
Good.
Two left to go.
Two left, Aston Villa and Sturm Graz. Now we're looking for Sturm Graz host.
No, Aston Villa host.
Aston Villa host. True. Aston Villa from England, position 15. Let's find out who will it be. Puskás Akadémia FC from Hungary. So Aston Villa will go to Hungary to face Puskás Akadémia. Now, one more left.
One left. We're looking now for the host for Sturm Graz. I think we know where they're going to be going, but let's just make sure we have everything in order. And of course, Sturm Graz will be going to Zagreb to play NK Lokomotiva Zagreb in the last match from this set of fixtures.
Yes, thank
That's
you.
it.
And that completes the draw ceremony. So, Weshman, we have some very exciting matches ahead of us.
We always do, don't we? But the one that really stands out for me is, of course, the rematch of last season's men's senior Champions League final, which is Real Madrid against Borussia Dortmund. Stuttgart against Liverpool as well, not a bad one. Midtjylland against Manchester City. See how if the youth team can fare a little better in the European competition than the senior men's team at the moment. Lots to look forward to, as always. A reminder, though, if you could mark your calendars, because this win or go home round will be played over one leg, just one leg only, on the 11th and 12th of February. Gentlemen, thank you very much for the draw proceedings. That is it from us at the House of European Football, from Tobias, Tom and myself. It's time to say goodbye. Good luck. Have a wonderful festive period, and we look forward to seeing you in February. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the House of European Football in Nyon for the 2024-25 UEFA Conference League knockout round playoff draw. Now, this league phase of this year's competition came to a nail-biting conclusion last night. As you'll all know here in the room, all 36 clubs in action were vying to secure a place in the next phase of the competition. There was so much to be decided coming into that final match day last night, with the European journeys of many clubs hanging in the balance. And that's what makes this new format so exciting and fascinating. Nothing is set in stone, and there is everything to play for until the final whistle. Okay, well, once the dust settled, Chelsea secured their spot at the top of the rankings, and in doing so, their ticket to the round of 16. They're going to be joined by Vitória de Guimarães, Fiorentina, SK Rapid, Dujardin, Legia Warsaw, Lugano, Cercle Bruges, and all of these sides will eagerly await until February to see who will join them in the round of 16. So that means that the fight for positions 9 through to 24 and a place in today's draw was so fierce, and the table was yo-yoing throughout the night, keeping all of us on the edge of our seats. In the end, those 16 clubs are through, with the teams ranked 9 through to 16 seeded for today's draw, and the clubs ranked 17 to 24 unseeded. So of those 24 teams remaining, there are 19 different nations represented. Only Cyprus has 3 teams remaining in the competition. Overall, up until this point, there were 320 goals scored in this league phase, which is an average of 2.96 goals per game, which is pretty remarkable. So we definitely have some thrilling ties to look forward to, which we will draw in just a few moments. So with the inaugural league phase complete, it means we're one step closer to this year's final, which of course will take place at the Wrocław Stadium in Poland on May the 28th. Now, before we proceed with today's main event, let's take a closer look at the 16 clubs that are in today's draw. Yeah, some really great action there. We look forward to more of the same in this round as we narrow the field, but who will take on who? Well, that's what we'll be finding out very shortly. So for now, I'm going to invite onto the stage the man who will preside over today's draw, the UEFA Deputy General Secretary, Giorgio Marchetti.
Hello, Reshmin. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to welcome you all to the first ever knockout round playoffs draw in the league phase era. In the past couple of months, we have seen the impact of the new format on this young competition, which has become even more unpredictable in the new league phase. Every club has something to play for until the final ball is kicked. Every goal and every save are capable of sending a team to the round of 16, to the knockout round playoffs, or home. This was particularly obvious last night on match day 6 when we experienced a roller coaster with nearly all clubs still in contention, fighting for every point and some battling to keep their European dreams alive. In the end, just 3 points separated positions 8 and position 20, and 4 points separated 8 and 25. 34 of the 36 clubs recorded at least one victory in the league phase, with only 2 teams, Chelsea and Vitória Guimarães, finishing unbeaten. In addition to the increase in competitiveness, the UEFA Conference League remains an unparalleled platform for many to gain status and experience against the European opposition. Today's draw will provide us our first look at the road to reach this year's final in Wrocław. The knockout phase bracket, however, will be completed after this round with the inclusion of the top 8 teams of the league phase. So, congratulations to the 16 clubs who navigated the intricacies of the league phase to qualify for today's draw, and to the top 8 teams who are awaiting the winners in the round of 16. We are now nearly ready to...
Polish international current football commentator and pundit on Polish television, Michał Zewlakow. Nice to see you, Michał. How are you?
I'm okay.
Good. Welcome to Nyon. Now, just like everyone in the room, I'm sure you've been enjoying this league phase. It is a new format for this year. A lot of people have been really excited by it. How much have you enjoyed the kind of the uncertainty of it?
Well, especially the yesterday night games, when you see, to be honest, difficult to follow all the games because they were played on the same time. So you look at the table and you see how the teams skip. I think in this new format, every game is important. You have to fight until the end. And like, for example, the Serbian team, Bačka Topola, in the last quarter, they did the points who let them be qualified for the knockout round.
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it? Up until this point, there is still more to come, of course. Your former club, Legia Warsaw, and another Polish side, Jagiellonia, are both through to the knockout rounds. How much have you enjoyed watching them? And also, how important is it for you, potentially, to have a Polish side go deep in this competition and potentially reach the end?
It would be a perfect final if one of these teams, or maybe 2, but I don't know how is the schedule. Probably they will cross each other. This final, to see the Polish team playing, it's a European Cup, so for sure it would be amazing for the Polish fans. To be honest, when I was watching the Polish team since the first game, I think the first game of Jagiellonia away in Copenhagen, like the first game Legia at home against Betis, for me it was crucial. 2 games, two times they won, and I think this is something what gives you faith, gives you inspiration, and then when you see 3 games won by Jagiellonia, 4 games won by Legia without losing the goal, I think that means something. Yeah. The end was a little bit more difficult, but of course, you know how many games they were playing during the competition, the internal Polish Cup. So, to be honest, from both teams, we can be very proud.
Yeah, that's really great. And of course, you never know what's coming up in the next few rounds, of course. But there's something about this competition. It's only been going for a few years, but it's given so many teams that probably wouldn't have experience in European competition the chance to be on that stage. How important is this competition for that?
I think this format gives an opportunity for the teams who has no experience in the European games. And for example, when I saw yesterday Shamrock Rovers going on Stamford Bridge facing Chelsea, I think for the players, it's like during one game, you get experience like for, I don't know, maybe one season. Yeah. Especially when you see the ranked when they were before the game, when they end up after the game. It shows that in this format, I think there is, and challenge, something that we cannot predict. In my opinion, it's amazing.
It's been amazing so far as well. Mikhail, you're going to be doing the draw, of course. We look forward to that. We are nearly ready to start that. But before we do, we're going to now move on to the technical procedure. And for this, we have a short video to explain the key draw principles.
The fixtures for the knockout phase playoffs are determined by means of a draw, conducted in accordance with the following principles. The draw features the clubs that finish the league phase in positions 9 to 24. The clubs ranked 9 to 16 are seeded, and those ranked 17 to 24 are unseeded. Clubs are paired based on their final position to form 4 seeded pairs and 4 unseeded pairs. Pairing 9 and 10 will play against either of the clubs in pairing 23 and 24. The clubs in pairing 11 and 12 will play against either of the clubs in pairing 21 and 22, and so on. In principle, the seeded clubs play the return leg matches at home. The draw is carried out using a seeding bracket, with each pair of teams allocated 2 predefined potential positions according to their league phase rankings. 8 bowls are prepared for the draw, with the balls containing the names of the seeded and unseeded teams placed in the corresponding marked bowls. The draw starts with the unseeded teams, with the bowl containing pairing 23 and 24. 1 ball is drawn and is opened to display the team. The first team drawn from this bowl is placed in their reserved spot on the silver side of the bracket. The other unseeded team of the pairing is then drawn and allocated in the corresponding reserved spot on the green side of the bracket. The same procedure is carried out with the remaining unseeded teams. Once all the pairings of unseeded teams have been drawn and assigned to an appropriate position on the bracket, the draw continues with the seeded teams, starting with the pairing 15 and 16. The process is the same as for the unseeded teams, with the first team drawn allocated to the reserved designated spot on the silver side of the bracket and the second team on the green side. The procedure is repeated for the remaining pairings, finishing with the pairing 9 and 10 to complete the pairings for the knockout round playoffs. After the draw, if it becomes apparent that any ties are affected by city or stadium clashes, these clashes will be resolved in accordance with the principles set by the Club Competitions Committee for city and stadium clashes.
As explained in the video, here are the 8 bowls containing the pairs of seeded and unseeded teams according to their league phase rankings. The draw starts, as you have seen, with the unseeded teams in descending ranking order from pair 23-24 to pair 17-18. The first team drawn from each pair will be assigned to the silver side of the bracket and the second to the green side. Once all the pairs of the unseeded teams have been assigned to a position on the bracket, then the draw continues on this side with the seeded teams starting with the pair 15-16 and finishing with the 9-10 to complete all the pairings. Due to the potential interaction with the UEFA Europa League fixtures, the kick-off times of the Conference League knockout playoff matches will only be confirmed on the 31st of January. So, we know everything. Let's start the draw. Michael, it's up to you. We start, as we said, with 23-24. It's the first ball there. Please shuffle the 2 balls and deliver the first team. The first team, let's remind ourselves, going to the silver side of the bracket in the assigned position. First team drawn is
FKTSC.
FK
Topola.
TSC Bačka Topola from Serbia at their very first participation in the UEFA knockout phase, coming from an exciting comeback yesterday. So Bačka Topola has been assigned their position on the silver side, please. Yes, we can go ahead. Don't worry. Go ahead. The second ball, we need to see the name of the team paired with Bačka Topola. They will occupy the position on the opposite side of the bracket, which is the green one.
FK Molde.
And that's, of course, FK Molde also coming for a 4-3 yesterday. Very exciting match as well. And Molde, who played the round of 16 in the Conference League of the last season, they are assigned to this green side. So we see now Bačka Topola and Molde, and we're ready to go ahead with the pairings 21 and 22, yes. Pairing 21 and 22 means that the clubs involved here are Celje and Omonia.
NK Celje.
Celje from Slovenia, the champions of Slovenia, their first participation in knockout phase, silver part of the bracket for Celje. That's it. We can go ahead. Please show us the other ball. The content of the other ball, of course, for the green side.
Omonia FC.
And this is Omonia FC, also a club participating for the first time in a UEFA knockout competition, just talking about opportunities for clubs. So also for Omonia, it will be the first time to experience a knockout phase. And with this, we have done 2 pairings. We need now to move on to positions 19 and 20. First team drawn going silver.
Vikingur Reykjavik.
Now it's the champions of Iceland, or Vikingur Reykjavik, which is the first club from Iceland to qualify from a UEFA competition group or league phase. So Vikingur is placed to the, in the silver part. We want to see the name of the other team for the green part.
FK Borac Banja Luka.
Borac Banja Luka, champions of Bosnia and Herzegovina. Again, first participation in the UEFA knockout phase, and Borac can go green. So only 1 pairing of unseeded teams is left. That's position 17-18. Michael, you can draw, please. KA Gent or FC Copenhagen.
Gent.
This is KAA Gent, quarterfinals in 2023 in the competition, and it's the only club which qualified for 4 editions to the knockout phase of Conference League. So a very loyal client of this phase of the competition. Gent, welcome again. And Gent is silver, only 1 name is left in the pot to complete the green side with unseeded teams.
FC Copenhagen.
And that's, of course, FC Copenhagen, round of 16 in 2022. And the team which has reached knockout phase in all 3 UEFA club competitions. So Copenhagen is the last unseeded team to take a position on the green side. Now, you come to this side because what we have to do now is to do actually the pairings. So we pair the seeded teams with the unseeded teams, and we start now with 15-16, which will go to compete against Gent or Copenhagen. First team drawn, silver side against KAA Gent.
Real Betis.
So Real Betis Balompié from Sevilla, knockout playoffs in 2024. So for Betis, we have now completed their pairing. They Gent Real Betis, that's a silver pairing. We can go ahead, show us please the name of the team which will be opposed to FC Copenhagen.
FC Heidenheim.
And this is, of course, FC Heidenheim. So the first two pairings are Ghent versus Real Betis and Copenhagen versus Heidenheim. The winners of these two matches will be drawn in January against Chelsea or Vitória Guimarães. That's it. We can go to the next pairing, which is positions 13, 14, and include Panathinaikos and Olympia Ljubljana.
Panathinaikos FC.
Panathinaikos FC go to the silver side, and they will face, in this case, Víkingur Reykjavik in the next round, the first knockout phase of the UEFA Conference League for Panathinaikos. And that's a pairing with Víkingur and
NK Olympia Ljubljana.
And for Olympia Ljubljana, of course, the pairing is with Borac Banja Luka. First participation also for Olympia at this stage of a UEFA competition. So another two pairings, the winners of these two pairings will be opposed to either Fiorentina or Rapid Wien. Please, positions 11, 12. It's two Cypriot teams in this case, Apoel or Paphos.
Apoel FC.
Apoel FC against FK Celje. So Apoel, the champions of Cyprus, first Conference League knockout phase participation. And the other team in this pair is someone who will give us the first Cypriot derby in UEFA knockout phase.
Paphos FC.
And that's, of course, Paphos FC. Paphos going to clash with Omonia. So Omonia Paphos is the next round here, with Celje Apoel the other side. And the winners will play against Djurgården or Lugano. Only two are left and to be drawn, positions 9 and 10. Their opponents will be either TSC Bačka Topola or FK Molde. First team drawn for the silver side.
Jagiellonia Białystok.
The Polish champions of Jagiellonia Białystok, first time ever in a UEFA knockout phase for them. And the pairing is TSC Bačka Topola versus Jagiellonia. Just reveal the last name, Michael, and then all your job is done for today, only for today.
Shamrock Rovers.
And that's Shamrock Rovers, the champions of Ireland. The club taking the Republic of Ireland for the first time to qualify from a group or league phase to the knockout phase. And then the pairing here, the tie will be Molde versus Shamrock Rovers. So the winners of Molde Shamrock Rovers or TSC versus Jagiellonia will play against Legia, Warsaw or Cercle Bruges. And the draw will happen at the end of January. This is all. These are the 8 pairings for the round, the knockout playoff round. So, Reshmin, back to you to comment.
Thank you very much, Giorgio. Yes, some
challenges.
very exciting ties always. Ghent against Real Betis looks very exciting to me. Copenhagen against Heidenheim as well. Shamrock Rovers, I think they've enjoyed themselves in this competition. I think they're going to really enjoy that trip to Norway as well. And this is fantastic because you can actually see, and everyone can begin to see their path now to that final in Wrocław. If you just take a look, you can see who the winners of this next round will face in the next round of the competition, in the round of 16. So very exciting indeed. Okay, so that is pretty much it for us. Before we go, it is time to mark your calendars. I'm sure you all know these dates already. The first leg will be on the 13th of February. The return is scheduled for the 20th of February as well. Of course, some of these matches may be subject to a bit of a change of date or venue due to a stadium or city clash or whatever that might be. We'll, of course, keep you informed of all of that. But from us here at the House of European Football, that is it from Mikhail, Giorgio and myself. Goodbye. Thank you for making the